Gachagua finally has decided to speak. Gachagua has decided to speak. And he has eulogized Baba in a way that it is very, very clear that Gachagua really admired Raila Odinga. Gachagua admired Raila Odinga. There's things Gachagua has said, and I will agree with Gachagua 1000%. For those people who are, some of us who have been following politics from way back, I will agree with Gachagua 1000%. When Gachagua was eulogizing Baba, he said that he admired one thing about Raila Odinga. The quality of leaders that Raila Odinga brought to parliament through his ODM party and everything. These were top quality leaders. And this was something that was not being done by Mount Kenya leaders. This is something that is very, very true. The quality of Mount Kenya leaders that we have seen in the recent, in about the last two parliaments has been very, very worrying. We have seen leaders that you sit down and ask yourself, surely, is this a leader? Gachagua really admired Raila. Because wanasemanga mgala muwe lakini haki yake umpe. Raila knew how to surround himself with smart brains. He knew how to surround himself with very smart people. And that is what Gachagua wants to take and copy and paste in Mount Kenya. But I will try to, we'll see if he can manage to do that. We'll look at that. But before I continue, I want you to take a second to subscribe and to hit the notification bell so that anytime I watch a video, so that anytime I put a video, you will always be the first to watch. So kindly do so, na kama kawaida, I will be back. Thank you for everyone who has subscribed, and for the non-subscribers, I really, really appreciate you guys. So, you've listened to what I've said, and I can tell you for a fact that Gachagua really admired Raila Odinga. And he really, you remember, this is not the first time he's speaking about Raila forming a strong party that has lasted 20 years. This is not the first time he's talking about the quality of the leaders that Raila has brought forth. This is not the first time. And this was done even, you see even Kalonzo Musyoka have said, and he was saying this in Mount Kenya, he was saying that those opposition leaders like Gachagua and Nini, they need to plan and go to Bondo to eulogize Raila Odinga, to visit the Nini of Raila Odinga. And they will go. I know Gachagua will go. Maybe he just wants these things to cool down so that he can plan himself and go. He will go. And I know he will go and he will be received. That one is not a Nini. Hawezi fukuzwa. Because kwa matanga, hakunanga mtu fukuzwa kwa matanga. So, atakaribishwa. But there's something that Gachagua said, and I want you to listen to this. Listen to Gachagua. I'll also put a clip of Kalonzo so that just to match the two. So watch this.
As we mourn Raila Odinga, I must admit, I admire two things about that old man. And I'm really very touched by his leadership. Look at the political party that he built called ODM. A strong political party that though he has never been elected president, he is able to get into every government and get what he wants. Because he has a strong political party. But most importantly, his political party, all the legislators are top-notch lawyers. These are the people who have protected Raila Odinga for 30 years. If you look at Raila's team, James Orengo, Otieno Kajwang, late, Omolo Atiende, Karoli Omondi, Peter Kaluma, Edwin Sifuna, Stewart Matier, Catherine Muma, Mile Odhiambo, the bad girl, Beatrice Oyomo, Tom Ojeda, Okongo Mgeni, Mohamed Faki, Ochieng, and Babu Owino. Great minds. Great minds. Then nyinyi mnanipatia Kawanjiko. Wa Matinga. Wa Makeki. Eh?
We need to get quality in the National Assembly. James Orengo is senior counsel. Even the Senator Kisumu is senior counsel. Otiendo Molo is senior counsel. Let us also now go for quality. Remember, we used to have Paul Muite from the mountain.
You have listened to what Gachagua said. Umesikia? That was him making a speech somewhere in Mount Kenya. And he has even mentioned those politicians that Raila brought, people who are smart, people who are lawyers. Because one thing I always say, that in the National Assembly and in the Senate, we need lawyers. We need top-notch lawyers. At least National Assembly, let us have these just lawyers, kawaida lawyers. At least you are a lawyer. Majority of them should be at least lawyers. People who understand law. And then in the National Assembly, in the Parliament, in the Senate, let us have senior councils. Let us have those people ndio wakuwe lawyers huko. People who can chambua sheria and everything. So that our debate could be, so that the quality of the laws that comes from Parliament zinakuwa top notch. Because you can see he has mentioned very smart people. People like Orengo, people like Millie Odhiambo, people like not Junet, people like Edwin Sifuna, people like Babu. These are smart brains. Raila really knew how to outsource smart brains. But in the recent times, hata mimi, I was really worried with the quality of leaders that were coming from Mount Kenya. Quality of leaders that were coming from Mount Kenya have been so much concerning. We have had leaders in Mount Kenya, someone is a senator, someone who cannot even articulate anything in English. He cannot explain himself in English. Nothing. People who struggle with something as simple as speaking English and a struggle now. And these are senators, these are members of parliament. We have had people being elected based on very crazy names. Sijui Kawanjiko, sijui nini. Some very, very funny people. People who have not even gone to school. At they are members of parliament. And that is why using those people ni kuwatumia ni rahisi. Because they don't understand anything. So ukiwaambia pitisha hii, wanapitisha tu. Pitisha hii, wanapitisha tu. That is why even most people stopped following debates in parliament. Because those days, in the days of Akina Orengo, in the days of Akina Paul Muite, in the days of Akina Nini, debate were very, very interesting. The days of Akina Gitogu Imanyara, parliament was very, very charged. These were top brains. People will discuss, people will debate. And you can sit there and listen to how articulate these people were. Even William Ruto, when he was in parliament, that guy was a sharp brain. You can go to William Ruto's speeches in parliament. William Ruto was a smart fella. And these are the kind of leaders that we wanted. So, where did Mount Kenya go wrong? Mount Kenya, where did you people go wrong? You started electing popularity instead of electing brains. Mount Kenya used to provide some of the best brains. It was Mount Kenya and Nyanza. They used to provide some of the top brains when it comes to politics. We had people like Kiraitu Murungi. We had people like Matiba. We had people who had brains, people who were smart. We had people like Charles Jonjo. And then all of a sudden we started getting some very, very crazy names. Someone who cannot speak anything in parliament. Like that guy mwenye alikuwa elected without even having a car or anything. What was his name? Have you ever seen that guy say anything in parliament? Gachagua is saying something that is very, very valid. The quality of leaders that have been coming from Mount Kenya have been pathetic. Have been very, very disastrous and pathetic. And that is what you people, you need to change. Mount Kenya need to change. You need to start electing brains. Stop electing people based on popularity. Based on ati sijui anajulikana kuna mabuchari. So ni kama uwa mabuchari. Juu sasa ni popular, mnamchukua mnampeleka parliament. The guy doesn't understand anything. Anything. The guy cannot even comprehend anything. Na mnamchukua mnampeleka. And then you call those people your leaders. Mtu akianza kufungua mdomo kwa parliament, hata wewe mwenyewe ulimpigia kura unakuwa embarrassed. Unajiuliza, how did I vote for this person? Mount Kenya saizi imebaki with very small people who have smart brains. People like Ndindi Nyoro, people like this guy Kimani Chungwa. Those are the only people you can count. The rest are useless. Very useless. So Mount Kenya leaders, you people, the voters from Mount Kenya, you people, you need to start thinking. Mnafaa kuanza kuchagua people not based on popularity. Mtu aliacha shule class 3 na sasa juu ako popular, he's a musician, anataka ati sasa avotiwe akwe MP. Huyo mtu anaenda kufanya nini parliament? Kwani parliament is it a place where mnapeleka tu mtu ati sasa anajulikana mnapeleka tu? But look at this side of ODM. Look at the brains that surrounded Raila Odinga. Gachagua anasema kweli. Look at the brains that surrounded Raila Odinga. And he's saying the truth because these brains are the brains that protected Raila Odinga. Look at if people even like Miguna. These are people who passed through Raila Odinga. And you could see how smart they were. You could see how smart these people were. Akina Omogen. These people were smart brains. And Raila loved that. Raila gave people top-notch people. Anajua these people nikiwapeleka parliament, they will debate. These are serious debaters. So it is true that whatever Gachagua is saying is very, very true. The quality of leaders that have been coming from Mount Kenya is very worrying. And it is very high. It is high time they change. Even in Rift Valley here, kwa Ruto. Pia the quality of leaders that are coming out of there recently, it's worrying. They need to change. The people of Rift Valley, pia nyinyi, you need to start electing leaders that you know very well wanaweza wapeleka kwa nini. Hii mambo ya kuchagua mtu ati juu ni popular, wachaneni nayo. Parliament is not it's not a beauty contest or a popularity contest where people go to contest how popular they are. This is a house where people do legislation. So we need top-notch brains. We need people who are smart. We don't need people who just go there to parade how popular they are. And that's why you see smart people, people who are not popular, people who are just popular but they have nothing. They don't speak in parliament. Have you ever seen someone like Jalango speaking in parliament or pushing any idea in parliament? Because he went there out of popularity. He didn't go there because he's a smart. Nothing. And there are so many of them. Even in ODM, we still have people like that. Someone like Junet Pierre who were the same mix. Just because of his proximity to Raila Odinga, he got some akasonga. So ODM pia kuna watu kama hao wachache. Yes, there are very few. But majority of them are top-notch brains. People like Mohamed Faki, smart people. People like Millie Odhiambo, smart people. Kaluma, despite his lambistic nature, but he's a smart brain. People like Karoli Omondi, you can sit and listen to Karoli Omondi speak the whole day and you will not get bored. Because that man knows how. He understands the law and he understands things. Raila was a smart guy. And I feel like Gachagua really wants to emulate that and bring it to Mount Kenya. Gachagua is really pained that Mount Kenya is right now producing leaders that you cannot even speak about. Kitambo we could speak about Mwai Kibaki. Kitambo we could speak about Martha Karua. These were top brains. These were people who could ungeona Orengo huko amesimama huko na Martha Karua amesimama huko and they debate and you are like, wow, this is a debate. Because it became a debate of issues. And that is why maybe someone like Orengo left Senate, because he started realizing that these people, I cannot debate with them. They are not on my level. Hakuna akili hapa, these are just people. Maybe that's why he left that parliament and decided to go to be a governor. Which is doing terrible at it anyway because it's not his thing. But what we are saying is Mount Kenya is why the kind of leaders have come from Mount Kenya in the last from 2013, it has been very worrying. So if Gachagua is going to work towards it, then well and good. We need leaders. We need top brains in Mount Kenya. That is what we need. But anyway, whether Gachagua will try to, because I feel like Gachagua really wants to bring Raila's, like he really wants to paint that picture. Anataka to copy what Raila has done and try to paste it in Mount Kenya. But I don't think it will work. Because for Gachagua to be even a quarter, not even a quarter, he has got a lot of things to work on. For him to people to even to start thinking of him like Raila. No, it's very far. Because Gachagua needs to change his mindset completely. He needs to stop speaking about community. And that is one of Gachagua's greatest undoing. That every time he goes anywhere, he speaks about his community and the injustice that is done to his community. Do you know, you can go to Raila's clip, so many of them, there is nowhere Raila has ever spoke about injustice done to the Luo community. Never. Raila has never spoke about, my people are being wanafanyiwa hii. Raila never spoke of Luos as my community. Raila always refers to Kenyans in general. Gachagua has a lot to learn from Raila Odinga for him to be even a quarter of what Raila Odinga was. He's got to learn a lot. And number one, he needs to start by changing his mindset, because that is where the problem is. The guy is so tribal, and he needs to shed that thing off. The guy is so tribal. He needs to shed off. Number one thing, you know, Gachagua has, maybe kuna watu wanamuadvise, Gachagua can start doing that very easy. It's very easy. And he can start by first going to visit Raila Odinga's nini. And then from there, he start building his political career. He start taking his politics out of Mount Kenya, because he's speaking about Mount Kenya so much to a point whereby no one takes him serious anymore. No one sees him beyond Mount Kenya. Anyway, guys, I don't want to speak much. So if you have anything to say concerning what I'm nini, please put it in the comment section. But above it all, remain respectful. I always say, do not insult any leader. Just stick to their points. Be objective. Say what you want, but do not insult any leader. Sawa? Yes, it is what it is. I'll see you next time. And if you want to support this platform, my number is always there. Please feel free to reach out in whichever shape or form. Thank you. Until next time. Bye-bye. The African Update.